Uh, what have you experienced so far in the summit? Is it what you thought it would be?
I had no idea what to expect. I've been practicing yoga, but I won't be certified until after this summer. So this will be the first time I've ever come to anything like this. I've gone to different conferences that have to do with oppression and solidarity, working with young people, and that's pretty much the line of my work, but this is something completely different in the space that we're in. So it's more than I expected it to be. It's something I really feel grateful and happy to experience. And I feel like I'm learning a lot and feel really like blessed and fortunate to have been placed here. It almost feels like.
How do you envision that you can take some of this home? What would that look like,
Yeah.
taking it back to Newark
hmm
to serve the communities that you already serve?
Yeah. So I feel that my community is dealing with a lot of trauma itself, and just tools that I can use.
What's your community?
Yeah. So my Newark, New Jersey community is dealing with a lot of issues relating to redlining and all the things that come with that. So there's public health issues, there's economic issues, there's addictions, there's poverty and all the things that come with poverty. There's the mental and spiritual side of all of the oppressive forces, but also a lot of really beautiful things, which is how I know like it's a city I absolutely love to work in and love to be a part of, and would love to just bridge together a healing community together that I know would be like flourishing and becoming its own thing, which is something else I've gained from this experience. Um, what was the question?
So, taking what do you envision taking
Oh
home? I
yes,
just thank you for defining and
yes.
telling us more about your community.
hmm
So, yeah, well, what do you look forward to taking back?
Some of the tools, such as realizing how everyone's experience can benefit from different practices, such as the trauma-informed approach of yoga, having a bit more spacing, pace, having more inclusion in terms of what can be triggering to someone. All of those tools have been a lot of things that I've thought about in the past, but I really haven't had the tools or the conversation until I came to the summit, and have now really been excited to implement and bring it back home.
Great. What about today's discussion about resilience and spirituality? Does that reframe anything for you in how you want to approach serving your community?
Yes. So for me, something that was really impactful was all of this generational traumas that have occurred in a lot of our and the people that are participating in this, and a lot of people in general. Um, I'm thinking more about framing. I don't want to say reparation, but almost like a recovery from the idea that all of these things have happened in a linear format, like generationally passed down. Should we pause for the wind? No, okay. Um, so something really helpful that I took from it the most, I think, is the prayer at the end. We call upon our ancestors, and we're borrowing from their prayers. All of the traumas that have happened in the lives of our ancestors, we're borrowing their words and their experiences, and that all is good again is something that I think is always hopeful, and it's the reason why I'm drawn to working with youth, because that's the most half full glass ever, that the youth is engaged in all of these conversations and all these practices, and we can maybe just help facilitate in some way that conversation is really hopeful.
Summit. What social justice issues are you passionate about? And how do you see yoga intersecting with them?
Oh my goodness. So this is lovely because for 10 years I've been working in sex education in my community and offering it for free. So I've been working in homeless youth shelters and in rehabilitation and women's shelters, parents, charter schools, public schools, all the communities I can possibly reach. And more recently I've been working in Spanish, which is to me, like, of course, how did this not come to me before, to have a community in my own community of Spanish speakers? So to me, what I try to emphasize is our existence is very political, so how can we become involved in what happens in our politics and what affects our happiness, our joy, our health, our livelihood? So yoga is just something that complements that so well, because I really choose to emphasize in my classes autonomy and the owning of our own bodies, accepting our bodies, loving our bodies, and even the healing process not having to be neat and beautiful, but being whatever it has to be, which I think in yoga is also that trusting and knowing that your body can do things sometimes, and sometimes needs a little bit more love, and that's okay.